On the way home, we stopped by this orchard. It was Seiferd's Orchard. And they had seconds on peaches. So we bought 40 pounds of seconds. And if you guys don't know what this is a primary fermenter. This is an airlock so that the carbon dioxide can be released as the yeast eats the sugar. If you don't know anything about wine, basically what happens is you put fruit or you put sugar, whatever kind of sugar source you have. You can make a mash the same way, but the sugars are eaten by the yeast and converted into alcohol and carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is expelled through the bubbler. The alcohol stays in, and hopefully we turn out with a good quality fruit wine and not a jar of vinegar. All right, I just took the lid off because you have to stir this stuff daily. I don't use the mesh bag. I like having the fruit right in the wine. But every day I stir this once or twice, and as you can see, it doesn't look real appetizing. And as I mentioned, you can see how this fruit is up a lot higher than what that is. It's both 5-gallon batches. It's just that this barrel here is a little smaller in diameter than that barrel. So now we're just going to mix this up and we'll throw the lid back on. And man, I love the smell of wine being made. It smells amazing. You know, I'll point this out as well. This stuff is called Easy Clean No Rinse Cleaner. No matter what I do, whether it's my hands before I take the lids off or this stir stick, I always kind of wipe it down and rinse it down with that cleaner because I don't want any other kind of bacteria to get into this and create something that I don't want, like botulism or anything. So yeah, everything that goes into this container, you have to make sure it is perfectly clean. And the nice thing about peaches is most of everything starts to float. So when you're ready to pull this fruit out, you just go ahead and pull it off of the top with a ladle, and then I'll put it in something so I can basically squeeze the rest of the juice out. But you can see that stuff is really starting to foam up, and that's all the carbon dioxide being released from that liquid. Now we'll come over here. I think I'm gonna have to ladle some of this out because I don't want it that high. That's a little dangerous. If the fruit gets stuck at your bubbler, it can clog your bubbler. I haven't had this happen on a 5-gallon batch because the primary fermenter has enough surface area that this never became an issue. But I'll tell you what I have had an issue with in the past, and that is on a 1-gallon batch. I put the fruit right in that jug, and what will happen is, as it ferments, it'll push that fruit up. Even if you keep your level down, there's not enough area there for that fruit to stay away from the bubbler. And I've had it clog the bubbler to the point where it blew the cork out with enough pressure. Yeah, my wife wasn't real happy about that. But yeah, we had blackberry on the ceiling here. It's hard to see. We got it cleaned up pretty good. But, well, accidents happen. Here we go. All right, guys, we just racked that wine. We took it out of those 5-gallon buckets and we put it in these 5-gallon carboys. As you can see, is very opaque. You cannot see through them. They are still fermenting. We did take all the fruit out of them. This one's kind of fermenting a little slower, but it is fermenting. So we'll record this after a little while and show you how they're starting to clear up. You can actually see a difference on the bottom. They're already starting to settle out a little bit on the bottom compared to up here. But yeah, it's going to take a couple months to get them cleared up. Take you along the way. All right, guys, this part of the process is called racking the wine. So we still have a lot of sediment in this wine. We already racked this tonight. We're getting ready to rack this, and we'll take you along and show you how we do it. The first thing you don't want to do is you do not want to move that container. That container has been sitting still for 2 weeks, and we don't want to move that at all and disturb that sediment on the bottom. So we'll throw you on time lapse. We'll let you watch this thing go down to nothing. When we get down towards the bottom, they do sell a carboy wedge. I don't have a wedge, so most of the time I'll just stick my hand under it. But you don't want to disturb that sediment. So here we go. All right, guys, so what we have left in here is sediment, and we'll show you that as we rinse this out. We had a bucket on the floor, and that's a clean bucket. It's been sanitized. So we put the wine in there. We left the sediment behind, and now we'll show you as we dump this sediment into the sink. And then we just have to take it from the bucket, put it back into the jug, and we'll be done. All right, guys, so now that we have that all rinsed out and clean, we're just going to transfer the wine back into this. We'll freshen up that bubbler and put it back up there, let it sit for 2 more weeks, and do the same thing all over again. This is the 3rd time that we have racked this wine, so the sediment wasn't real bad. We're getting less and less every 2 weeks. But basically, that is the dead yeast that settles down to the bottom, as well as the fibers from the fruit that we used. In this case, it was peach. And so now we're just going to rack it from that bucket back into here. This is finished. We've racked it about 3 or 4 times, and now we've stabilized it and sweetened it. So now it's actually time to go ahead and bottle it. And that's what we're going to do right isn't it? Not real happy with the clarity of this, but there's no sediment, and yeah, that's what it is.